thanks for tuning in to Revelations. It's a Christian series on evangelism and discipleship. Today, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a city right outside called Matthews, visiting the Christian Adoption Services. Stay tuned as we go behind the scenes and get some more interviews and learn about how you as the body of Christ can get involved with Christian Adoption Services.
My wife Doris and I became first involved with Christian Adoption Services 6 years into our marriage. We had 2 young children. Life was busy.
During that time, all my family was in El Salvador. And one of the 14-year-old little girls became pregnant. Her mother abandoned her and came to the United States. So she was left alone with a newborn.
And then my wife received a letter from her sister in El Salvador mentioning a young teenage girl who had a child. And this child was not doing well. There was no family support there for this little girl.
And she was living with an elderly gentleman, sleeping on the floor, on hardwood floors, dirt floors. And she didn't have any way to feed or raise this child. Family members, extended family members decided that it would be better if she made an adoption plan. So that's when my mother decided to call me, and she said, you know, can you find a family for this little one? And we started the search for a family.
And the story came in, and my wife, who was a real doer, shared that story and the need with some ladies in her Bible study one Wednesday. By Friday, Barbara and Leo had called in saying, we're the family for this child, what do we do? And my wife then got in touch with her family in El Salvador, who identified an attorney to make things proper and legal. And in 3 months, everything was said and done, and Vicki was home.
From there on, more people were calling and saying, I know you helped, you know, Pastor so-and-so to adopt this baby, can you help us?
The calls came to my wife Doris from other couples looking to adopt.
And so we helped several children to find families before we became licensed in Maine in 1979.
That was 30 years ago. And today we're still trying to fulfill the need of children worldwide.
It's such a blessing to be able to see these families who have a passion to give their love and share Christ with a child that is in need.
To know that we're doing at least our small part of what we can do, and that's the neat thing, is adoption is an amazing thing, and I would love to see more people choose to adopt. But even in small ways, there are little steps that we can take that can help other people.
If God leads you to do it, He's going to provide a way. If you think about the orphans all over the world, domestic, international, that's why we went international. We had biological children, and we felt like there were children in other countries that needed homes.
If God has this for your family, then God has this all planned out.
My children are my own, and I do believe that God's plan is for adoption. I do believe that they are here because they were supposed to be here.
It's amazing if you're where you're supposed to be, God will make sure that you can do it. And it was, you know, just one day all of a sudden we're like, we can do this and be okay. And it's, you know, God will provide if that's what you're supposed to do.
Just seeing what it's done to our family, bringing a biracial child into our home. Just to know that our arms are open wide, you know, just surrender to what God desires us to do, and to just see it in our boys, you know, that's their sister, you know, and NL looks at them as brothers, you know, there's this no difference there that they see, and just the love that they have for each other.
If God had called us to this, He was going to provide, and He sure did.
And it was just a step of faith, you know, just trusting that this was God's provision, and to know that He was going to provide the finances. You know, I think a lot of times that's a big concern, but you know, God blesses His children when they step out in faith.
If I could take every person to the orphanage in Vietnam that my daughter was in and show them the bed where 10 babies were laying on, I think every person's heart would be changed.
My role in this is to walk along with a family and help them from start to finish in their adoption process.
I think that a lot of the women who go through the agency's process choose to place for adoption because there is homework that they go through. There's just a very regimented process that they're going to go through in order to look at what's in the best interest of the child, and that's what the focus is here. It's not about me, it's what is in the best interest of my child.
I just want to let the girls know that get in this position that adoption is an option.
People need to look at adoption seriously as a wonderful option for these children. There's a lot of children out there who are being abused, neglected, they are not being taken care of. You've got a lot of parents who were not ready to be parents, and they're relying on the government to take care of their children for them.
They're doing counseling in order to have the mom choose life for the child, whether it is to parent herself or to choose adoption. It's just really important to me to see that the agency really cares for the moms and really walks alongside of them to share Christ with them, to share the gift that He has given us in life, and to provide an amazing life opportunity for the children that they're carrying.
But I knew that I could do it because I knew that I wanted the best life for her and that I couldn't give it to her. Knowing that she's okay makes me okay. So I just want to let girls know that they can do it and they'll be okay, and their baby will not hate them for placing them. I think that Kaylee will look at me someday and thank me because she knows the life that she's lived, the best life that she could, a life that I could never, ever imagine giving her.
The program services we have today are pregnancy counseling, foster care, international adoption, and sponsorship through humanitarian aid.